Diesel SUVs are what we've come to expect from brands like Nissan and Toyota. And sure, there are those European models from Audi, BMW, Mercedes and Land Rover. But a diesel Maserati SUV? Are they kidding? It's called the Maserati Levante, and it's the Italian brand's entrant into the popular luxury SUV segment. Why does Maserati need an SUV? Because buyers want it. Sales are booming. Powering the Levante models that will be sold in Australia from early 2017 is a 3-litre turbo diesel V6 engine with 202 kilowatts of power and a chunky 600 newton meters of torque. It's all-wheel drive, as you'd expect of an SUV that's just over 5 metres long. That sizing means it's essentially a competitor to the likes of the BMW X5, even though it's actually longer than that car, and it's even longer than a Range Rover. So, it's pretty big on the outside, and being a Maserati, you'd expect it to be luxurious on the inside. And it is, particularly in our pre-production test car, which is fitted with the luxury pack and the highly desirable Xenia interior silk option. There's 300 kilometres of silk used for every car with this trim, and it's been tested to offer the same level of durability as leather. It's on the door trims, seat inlays, and even the roof lining. And it's interspersed with lush red leather and suede. As such, it feels pretty classy inside until you notice some of the Fiat Chrysler automobile's parts that have been used in the cabin, like the single stalk on the steering column and the window switches, and it's got one of those fiddly gear shifters like you'll find in a Jeep. It may not be a Maserati limousine, but given its size, there's good space in the back. There's good head and leg room with enough space for 3 adults, and the best bit is that those in the back also get the Xenia seat trim. There is a pair of handy USB charge points as well. Boot space is important to SUV buyers, and you wouldn't be disappointed with the amount of space on offer here. There's 580 litres of cargo capacity, which is easily enough for a few bags. Well, it's enough about that. It's probably time for me to tell you how it drives. Well, let's see. Mate, in the middle of a review here, mate.
You don't understand Maserati like I do. I'm practically Italian, as you know.
I'm physically Italian, mate. I've got an Italian passport.
Well, I lived here as a kid, mate.
Doesn't mean anything. I'm in the middle of a review. I've got to finish driving, mate.
Mate, seriously? I'll take it from here, if that's okay with you.
It's not okay with me, mate. Get out.
I'll check you later.
Hey.
Maserati is of course the legendary Italian car maker with a sports car pedigree spanning 102 years. They're responsible for truly stunning cars like the original Maserati Ghibli Coupe, the Merak, the Kamzen and the Bora.
But this is a massive departure from anything Maserati has ever attempted before. It's also the most important vehicle the company has ever launched. You could say the company's future success depends on it entirely.
Maserati is keen to point out that they see the Levante as first and foremost a Maserati. What that means is they see this not as a traditional load-lugging SUV, but rather as a GT with enough space, pace and grace to satisfy not only company traditions, but customer expectations. And what they also want to do is lure customers away from the likes of the Porsche Cayenne and Range Rover Sport.
But it's a real pity that we're only getting a single diesel model instead of a choice between that and the twin-turbo petrol model with 316 kilowatts and 580 newton meters that's bound for the US market. But I guess they must have done their homework.
Maseratis have to sound, well, like a Maserati, even if it is a diesel-powered SUV. And this one truly does, but only if you hit the sport button. Do that, and there's no better engine note in the world from a 3-litre diesel.
The pace is okay too, but it's no bull out of the gate rocket either. There's some lag down low in the rev range, but anywhere above 2500 RPM, and this 2-ton, 5-metre Maserati accelerates with satisfying commitment. There's real refinement to this engine too, especially when high-speed cruising on Italy's autostradas. It's utterly vibration-free. You can leave the ZF 8-speed in full auto mode, but up here in the twisty Italian Dolomites, you want the satisfaction of the quick shifting sports setting with full manual mode.
That means you're in total control and it won't upshift unless you pull a right paddle.
It's a free revving engine too, so you'll need to be on your toes or you'll be bouncing off the rev limiter all too often, as I found out. The downshifts are accompanied by a superbly timed throttle blip, and it's plenty loud enough to be heard through the double glazed windows on this pre-delivery tester. I mean, have a look at these paddle shifters. They're column mounted but big enough to find no matter what the situation.
I simply wasn't expecting the kind of deft handling that we've experienced in these challenging mountain roads. There's good body control even under big lateral loads. It's not perfectly flat in the bends. You turn in and it tips in slightly, but you can feel what the car is doing and there's no nasty surprises. The steering is brilliant. It's old school hydraulic, so there's tons of feel and good response without being too sharp to really enjoy.
The level of grip is remarkable for a big, hefty vehicle. The Levante gets a quality tyre and torque vectoring, so even accelerating out of hairpins with a tad too much impatience, and it's still wonderfully behaved. That's also down to its 50-50 weight distribution and active torque split that mostly sends 100% to the rear, but can also push 50% to the front if grip fades, which it surely can after tackling repeated switchbacks in these mountain parts. The Levante also claims the lowest centre of gravity in the segment, and it's a claim that I certainly won't be disputing, given how easy it is to muscle this thing around the twisty roads at solid pace. There's poise and composure to this Maserati that makes it feel special and less like an SUV than most.
The brakes too have excellent stopping power, as you'd expect, but we've given them a solid hiding all day and they've continued to deliver. The Levante rides on standard air suspension with variable settings. We've been in the firmer sport mode almost all day long, and even then there's a good degree of bump absorption. Switch to the normal mode and it rides along like a proper luxury car.
So, as luxurious as this might be, it also claims to be capable off-road. So we thought we'd take it up a ski slope and see for ourselves. So we've switched to the off-road mode, which will give us better ground clearance and tweaks the stability control system for conditions just like these. As a first-time effort in the luxury SUV space for Maserati, the Levante is impressive. And because it offers something different to all its rivals, it's also guaranteed to sell. But how it stacks up against those rivals is something we're desperate to find out.